Yo, so quite appropriately, I've got my Star Labs shirt on today. As today I'm going to be talking about the season finales for The Flash Season 4 and Arrow Season 6, if I'm right. I did think about doing a video to talk about Arrow's finale last week, but then with The Flash finale coming up, I thought to myself, might as well just lump the two together. I mean, with the way the CW has kind of staggered their shows throughout this year, it has made it kind of a little difficult to keep things together. But with both finales having now happened, feels the right time to talk about them. First of all, let's start with the one that happened last week, the Arrow Season 6 finale. This one saw Oliver and his team finally back together and decide to go after Ricardo Diaz. Finally kind of put a dent in it. Which, yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, apparently they end the series of they don't kill the bad guy. I mean, which is, I think, kind of a good return to form. I mean, for the first two seasons, he didn't really kill the bad guys. I mean, Malcolm Merlyn, although he was thought to be dead, he lived. Slade Wilson lived. It was only when we kind of got to Ra's al Ghul and Damien Dark that kind of started killing. So, kind of, at the end of this season, with the bad guy still alive and presumably going to cause trouble for the team later on, that seems about the right call. This was also apparently the last episode that Paul Blackthorne would be in. Paul Blackthorne having been there from the beginning playing Quentin Lance, which he is supposedly injured in the final episode and kind of suffers complications during surgery and dies. Which, he's been there from the beginning, so to see him go is very sad. And it's not like Willa Holland's exit, where she could come back if she wanted to. This one looks to be pretty kind of permanent. Although, to be honest, I said that same thing when they killed off Laura Lance, and Katie Cassidy still found a way to come back, so you never know. He might choose to stay away, he might choose to come back. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it also ends up with kind of Sarah coming back from Legends in order to kind of be there to see her father, which I think was the right call. The Flash also did something similar this week, but I'll get to that. And it ends up with Oliver admitting to Agent Watson and the entire city that he is the Green Arrow and ending up in jail, which is, it's kind of, I mean, there have been so many fake outs of it, kind of saying, I'm the Green Arrow, oh no, I'm not. For him to finally say it in this setting so everyone knows, and the way he ends up kind of in prison with all the criminals like, oh, we know now, and we're going to cause you pain. Kind of, that's kind of a powerful image to close out the series on. I mean, apparently they've already said there is a season 7 coming, so we'll have to see how Oliver does in jail. But, yeah, I think it's a fitting ending. And once again, Kirk Acevedo, a name I'm almost certainly mispronouncing, as Ricardo Diaz, I think he's a good threat. I mean, throughout the first half of the series, the villain was Caden James. But, Ricardo Diaz proved a good threat. Not one I particularly know, but a good one nonetheless. And this week came The Flash Season 4 finale. Once again, several things to talk about with this one. I mean, for the past kind of three seasons, when they've had kind of speedster villains like the Reverse Flash, Zoom, and Savitar, when it was announced that this one wouldn't be a speedster villain, who's the Thinker, I'll be honest, having not read very much of the Flash, I was kind of hesitant about it. I was like, well, surely Flash can beat him. But to all credit, Neil Sandilands, as kind of Clifford DeVoe, the Thinker, he did actually prove to be quite scary. I mean, maybe not on the surface, but then he provides a very sinister character. Just one who's always seems to be 5 steps ahead, and that can actually be pretty terrifying. So, I'll admit, it was also glad, having seen him supposedly kill off Ralph Dibny, who towards the late half of the series, it was nice to see them bring Ralph back to life, and it was quite a satisfying defeat. I mean, I'll leave a clip down below if you want to see it. It is pretty good to see. And I do think the way they beat him, with Barry going into his mind to retrieve Ralph, trying to find good, not finding it, and then ultimately their hope defeating him, give hope and friendship. That I feel is quite a nice message. Once again, like Sarah, Wally came back to the Flash, came for the finale, and to see the birth of his baby half sister, which I think that's the right call. Bringing Sarah and Wally back to their respective shows just for the finale this time, that felt like a good call. And the reasoning he gives that he left in order to try and get out of Barry's shadow, but then also found himself with Legends, I think that's a nice touch. The finale, while it doesn't give us any kind of hints as to who the bad guy might be for the next season, as they did if they get next season, it does give us kind of a suitable cliffhanger that I think they may want to continue of. That being the appearance of Barry and Iris's future daughter, Nora Allen, claiming that she's made a big mistake. That that could be a number of things, and it sounds something that I'm really eager to find out, and I would like to see them go through. Anyway, as I said, while they haven't given any kind of hints as to who the next big bad might be, the only one, like I said, I haven't read very many Flash. I mean, I've got a couple in here, but no big ones particularly. But the only one who I could really think, and until I find out who, the one who I think could be was Abracadabra, a villain who appeared up in season 3 briefly, having time travelled, and claims that he and Barry had actually been enemies for years. Sure, he'd had others like Thorn, Zoom, DeVoe, but yeah, he's the only other one I could think. Although personally, I think Abracadabra may be more kind of minor threat, one or two episodes, and I'm not sure if he could be a big bad. I could be mistaken, but it'll be interesting to see who they get in next season to play the villain. Whether it be someone like Abracadabra, Godspeed, or another one of the Flash's Rogues Gallery. He's got a pretty big one. But yeah, kind of both finales kind of gave me what I was expecting. Kind of a dark and gritty and a pretty bleak outlook for Arrow, and a triumphant, if slightly confused, ending for the Flash. Yeah, I think this was good. Now, yeah, the last one that remains is Supergirl, and we'll have to see what kind of finale they got for her season 3. But yeah, a good batch for this year. Anyway, till next time.